Old Hollywood sold us glamour, but behind the velvet curtains, past the flashing cameras, and deep inside the locked studio bungalows lived a world the public was never supposed to see, a world of forbidden affairs, hidden obsessions, studio cover-ups, and actresses whose romantic lives became more legendary than their films. Tonight, we're tearing open the vault. Welcome to the Hollywood Secrets information. In this video, we are diving into the 17 old Hollywood actresses who were once whispered about as the nymphos of the Golden Age. Their reputations shook the studio system, and their scandals still echo through Hollywood today. Welcome back to the channel, Hollywood Truth Seekers. If you think you know old Hollywood, think again. Because the stories you're about to hear were buried by studio bosses, denied by publicists, and hidden in hush-hush contract for decades. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on the legendary women whose beauty, charisma, and untamed personal lives turned them into myths. Get ready for cliffhangers, wild romances, and the deepest secrets Tinseltown tried to erase. Like, comment, and subscribe, because this is one video you won't want to miss. 1. Mae West. She was the original Hollywood firestorm whose witty, flirtatious persona wasn't just an act, it was her lifestyle. Considered one of the most openly sensual women of her era, Mae's reputation came from her boldness, her unapologetic confidence, and her refusal to hide her desires. Her romantic life was a maze of secret partners, late-night rendezvous, and whispered long-term affairs with musicians, boxers, and unknown lovers who rotated in and out of her private suite. Hollywood studios worked endlessly to hide how many men claimed to be involved with her at once, especially when the press caught hints of overlapping romances. She was rumored to have an obsession with younger men, mysterious parties, and coded invitations sent to select guests. Studio executives repeatedly tried to control the story surrounding her, covering up scandals and burying police reports. Mae West became a legend not just because of her talent, but because she lived louder, wilder, and freer than Hollywood ever wanted the world to know. 2. Tallulah Bankhead. She was a force of nature, known behind the scenes as one of the most fearless romantics in old Hollywood history. Her reputation came from her refusal to follow rules, especially when it came to love. Tallulah's personal life included whirlwind relationships, rapid-fire affairs, and late-night encounters that became legendary tales whispered around studio lots. She reportedly kept a list of her flings, which insiders claimed was so long that studio publicists actively destroyed copies to prevent leaks. Her parties drew directors, actors, socialites, and even politicians into a world of cigarettes, jazz, and unpredictable romantic chaos. Rumors followed her everywhere, from her obsession with passionate affairs to her impulsive, addictive lifestyle that both fascinated and alarmed Hollywood. Despite the studio's best efforts to hide her scandals, Tallulah embraced her own myth, turning herself into one of the most unforgettable personalities Tinseltown ever produced. 3. Ava Gardner. She was adored for her breathtaking looks, but behind that beauty lived a woman Hollywood could never control. Known for her fiery personality and tumultuous romantic history, Ava's scandals became tabloid gold. Her relationships with major stars were explosive, passionate highs, heartbreaking lows, and rumors of overlapping partners that publicists rushed to bury. Affairs with bullfighters, musicians, and fellow actors gave her a reputation as a woman who lived through emotion, intensity, and sheer adventure. She struggled with alcohol, late-night escapades, and an obsession with adrenaline-fueled romances that often ended in disaster. Studio bosses tried to rewrite her image, hiding her most chaotic moments and paying off reporters who learned too much. But despite their efforts, Ava Gardner remained one of old Hollywood's most untamable spirits, seductive, bold, and unforgettable. For Jean Harlow, her icy blonde bombshell image was only the surface of her myth. Privately, she was known for her intense love life and shocking romantic choices. Hollywood insiders whispered that she was drawn to dangerous men, gamblers, rebels, and men who lived on the edge. Her marriages were turbulent, ending in scandal and tragedies that the studios fought hard to conceal. Jean's rumored affairs with powerful producers and her late-night disappearances into secret bungalows made her the talk of the studio backlots. Her addictions to glamorous nightlife and intense relationships earned her a reputation that the studio feared would ruin her image. Publicists often created fake stories to distract from the real ones: the fights, the jealousy, the obsession with passion that consumed her personal life. Jean Harlow became a symbol of beauty, desire, and a Hollywood that pulsed with secrets beneath its glittering lights. 5. Rita Hayworth. She was adored worldwide, yet behind her stunning smile was a woman tangled in a web of heartbreaking affairs and wild romantic scandals. Insiders claimed she was constantly searching for emotional intensity, which led her into relationships that shocked both colleagues and fans. Rumors about multiple love interests at once circulated, and studios scrambled to silence the gossip. She fell into passionate cycles, often leaving one lover only to fall just as deeply for another within days. Her marriages were riddled with jealousy, possessiveness, and fiery conflict. Some studio executives even confessed privately that they spent more time protecting her image than promoting her films. Addictions to dramatic relationships, emotional extremes, and risky romantic choices made her one of the most talked-about actresses of her era. Rita Hayworth's story remains one of beauty mixed with sorrow, passion, and scandal. 6. Marilyn Monroe. Her name alone evokes glamour, mystery, and controversy. Her private life was filled with a longing for affection, leading to multiple overlapping relationships that became whispered legends. She was known for attracting powerful men actors, producers, politicians, and her secret affairs became some of Hollywood's most carefully protected stories. Behind the scenes, Marilyn battled emotional emptiness, relying on substances and late-night encounters to escape loneliness. Publicists worked overtime to bury rumors of her most explosive affairs, including those that involved married celebrities and high-ranking public figures. Her behavior, at times unpredictable and impulsive, made studio bosses panic as they tried to hide scandals that could destroy careers. Marilyn Monroe remains the ultimate symbol of a woman whose desires and vulnerabilities made her both enchanting and tragically unforgettable. 7. Marlene Dietrich. Her cold glamour hit a woman with one of the most complex romantic lives in Hollywood. She was known for maintaining multiple lovers at once: actors, actresses, writers, and even royalty, which turned her into a mythic figure among insiders. Dietrich's hotel rooms were rumored to be revolving doors, with studios assigning special staff to keep visitors hidden for photographers. Her affairs were bold, unconventional, and far ahead of her time, shaking Hollywood's conservative image. She indulged in luxury, late-night clubs, and passionate relationships that often overlapped. Her magnetism was so powerful that directors openly admitted to falling under her spell. Publicists covered up jealous confrontations and several near scandals that could have ended her career. Dietrich lived unapologetically, embracing the world of desire with fearless confidence. 8. Bette Davis. She was known for her fire not just on screen, but in love as well. Her romantic life was intense, dramatic, and filled with explosive breakups that fueled whispers across Hollywood. Insiders claimed she threw herself into relationships with the same energy she gave to her roles, leading to affairs that burned hot and fast. Her marriages were turbulent, marked by jealousy, emotional chaos, and rumored overlapping romances. Bette was notorious for falling for co-stars during filming, sometimes causing problems the studio had to hide. Her addictive personality contributed to the emotional roller coaster of her love life, as she chased passion with almost reckless abandon. Studio executives scrambled to bury stories about fights, affairs, and inappropriate relationships. Bette Davis remains a symbol of raw emotion, passion, and Hollywood's wildest secrets. 9. Clara Bow, her reputation was unlike anyone else. She was the first true sex symbol of Hollywood, and her private life became the subject of endless rumor and scandal. Studio insiders whispered that she could not be controlled, with spontaneous romances that shook the conservative film world. Clara was rumored to have affairs with actors, athletes, and even staff members, forcing studios to launch full-scale cover-ups. Her wild parties, emotional extremes, and impulsive behavior made her a constant challenge for publicists. She battled personal insecurities and often sought comfort in intense, short-lived relationships. Hollywood tried to portray her as a carefree starlet, but behind the scenes, her love life was chaotic and unpredictable. Clara Bow remains one of Hollywood's most misunderstood and mythologized figures. 10. Hedy Lamarr. She was known for her stunning beauty, but insiders whispered that her romantic life was just as captivating as her face. Her marriages, 6 in total, were filled with jealousy, secrets, and overlapping romances that confused even her closest friends. Hedy reportedly had affairs with producers, actors, and powerful social figures who fell under her spell instantly. She was rumored to be addicted to the excitement of new relationships, often moving on before the previous one had fully ended. Publicists worked tirelessly to hide her most shocking romantic decisions, which could have damaged her image as Hollywood's elegant intellectual. Her emotional need for affection, combined with her rebellious streak, created a romantic history that became legend. Hedy Lamarr remains a figure wrapped in beauty, brilliance, and scandal. 11. Greta Garbo. Her love life was one of the most carefully hidden mysteries in Hollywood. She was intensely private, but her romantic relationships were rumored to be far more wild and complex than the public ever imagined. Garbo reportedly had passionate affairs with actors, actresses, writers, and European aristocrats, living a life beyond labels or boundaries. She avoided marriage, preferring secret romances hidden through studio manipulation and controlled press coverage. Insiders whispered about her unpredictable emotional needs and her tendency to disappear with lovers for days. Studio bosses worked relentlessly to erase any evidence of her affairs, fearing that the truth would shock audiences. Garbo's aura of mystery only grew as she lived a life full of hidden passions, making her one of Hollywood's most fascinating icons. 12. Joan Crawford. Her reputation for intense, dramatic relationships made her one of the most talked-about women in Hollywood. She was notorious for her affairs with powerful men producers, co-stars, and wealthy businessmen, and her romantic life was often explosive. Crawford was rumored to be addicted to the thrill of new love, frequently engaging in overlapping affairs that publicists scrambled to cover up. Her marriages were filled with jealousy, emotional battles, and rumored infidelity that studios kept out of the press. She had a magnetic presence that drew lovers to her, sometimes causing chaos on film sets. Her obsessions with status, admiration, and affection created a romantic life as dramatic as her films. Joan Crawford remains a towering legend of desire, passion, and scandal. 13. Elizabeth Taylor. Her beauty and charisma made her irresistible, but it was her passionate heart that created her notorious romantic history. Married 8 times, she was often caught in love triangles that became global scandals. Her affair with Richard Burton, while both were married, became one of Hollywood's biggest controversies, requiring massive cover-ups and damage control. Taylor was known for falling deeply, intensely, and frequently in love. Some insiders claimed she became emotionally addicted to dramatic, high-stakes relationships. Her private life included rumors of jealousy, obsession, and romantic chaos that constantly threatened her public image. Studios and publicists worked non-stop to manage the fallout from her romantic decisions. Elizabeth Taylor remains one of Hollywood's most powerful symbols of passion. 14. Veronica Lake. Her seductive screen presence matched the turbulent intensity of her real romantic life. She was rumored to be drawn to dangerous, unpredictable men whose relationships often ended in fiery conflict. Her marriages were filled with emotional instability, rumored affairs, and late-night arguments that the studio desperately tried to hide. Veronica struggled with addiction, which fueled chaotic romantic choices and late-night disappearances. She had several secret relationships with actors who were already involved with other women, creating scandals that publicists had to bury quickly. Her haunting beauty attracted admirers everywhere she went, leading to overlapping romances she couldn't always keep separate. Veronica Lake became a symbol of Hollywood tragedy, stunning, seductive, and surrounded by secrets. 15. Dorothy Dandridge. Her love life was filled with heartbreak, passion, and dangerous entanglements that Hollywood kept buried. On screen, she was elegance, but behind closed doors, she faced romantic chaos. Dorothy fell into relationships with powerful men, including married celebrities and producers whose attention brought both opportunity and danger. She battled emotional dependency, often choosing partners who couldn't give her the stability she needed. Her affairs were kept secret by studios who feared backlash from society's prejudices, leading to staged stories and false narratives to protect her career. Dorothy's insecurities sometimes drew her toward risky romances that ended painfully. Her life became a tragic mix of beauty, longing, and hidden scandals. Dorothy Dandridge remains an icon whose romantic history reveals the darker corners of Hollywood. 16. Carole Lombard. She was known for her wild sense of humor, but her romantic life was even wilder. She was rumored to have multiple affairs throughout her early career, often falling for men who were emotionally unavailable or already taken. Lombard's impulsive personality led her into whirlwind romances filled with jealousy, passion, and chaos. Her relationship with Clark Gable, which began while he was still married, became one of the biggest scandals of its time. Publicists desperately worked to hide their early affair until Gable could legally separate. Lombard was drawn to risk, often indulging in late-night adventures, alcohol-fueled parties, and unpredictable romantic decisions. Her dramatic love life became part of her legend, a woman who lived boldly, loved intensely, and never apologized. 17. Barbara Payton. Her story is one of Hollywood's most disturbing cautionary tales. Her beauty launched her career, but her turbulent romantic life destroyed it. She became famous for a chaotic love triangle involving two actors who physically fought over her, turning her into a tabloid spectacle. Insiders claim she had multiple affairs at once, often with men who took advantage of her vulnerability. Barbara struggled with addiction, which fueled her destructive romantic choices and made her a target for exploitation. Studios tried to control the narrative, but her scandals became too big to manage. Her life spiraled into heartbreak, poverty, and tragedy, a devastating example of Hollywood's dark side. Barbara Payton's story remains one of the industry's most haunting. And there you have it, 17 old Hollywood actresses whose hidden romantic lives became legends, scandals, and stories Hollywood never wanted the world to hear. These women lived boldly, loved fiercely, and left behind secrets that still fascinate us today. That if you enjoyed this journey into the forbidden side of Hollywood history, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more shocking cinematic deep dives. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Hollywood secrets.